Welcome back to Kyoto National Reversed. Getting the grid set for the second of 3 races today. 13-lap races, of course. Here from Kyoto National Reversed. Had first race. Quite exciting. Some major incidents. No safety car periods, though. But definitely my prediction before the first race held mostly true. Didn't have any of the top 3 getting taken out, but there was a smash in the second turn. Kind of as I thought. So my pessimism wasn't so misplaced, was it, guys?
Well, not quite, no. There were quite a few crashes on that first lap, but after that it was a really good race. Plenty of clean racing, a bit of bumping, a bit of touring cars. That's what we like to see.
Yep, an interesting start from the pole sitter as well, which obviously gave us some exciting racing as he had to come back up through the field. I think he lifted off the throttle, which obviously makes the turbo go back to 0, and the lights changed to green a little bit quicker than he thought that they would, but still he was caught napping there. So let's see if Picard can get off the line a bit quicker this time.
Yep, so the grid is set. And just waiting for everyone to ready up here. So as they start, hopefully they'll all get ready quickly, and they are. So 13 more laps here for this second race. One more race after this, which will reverse the random number between 6 and 10 of the finishing order from this race. So only a couple drivers left to go ready. And once the safety car goes ready, we go into the game, and we go in now. So 13 laps to come. Waiting for start. Picard, Scott, Fowry, Oliveira, and Baton, the top 5. Will Picard get on the start good this time? Remember, he had a bad start, of course, like we were just talking about. Let's see if he gets it. So as we wait for the lights to start to come on, they will come on, of course, in sequence. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, and it is go for 13 laps. Picard getting a great start. Nolan not getting a great start. And Fowry also alongside. So Picard getting a good start. He's clean ahead. Fowry and Nolan side by side. More side by side action. 3-4 wide back here, back in the pack. We'll have to keep an eye on the back of the pack here to see that we'll be fanning out here as Anderson and Scott and Anderson, Osgard, and Keo 3 wide, 4 wide into the infield another time. Let's see if there's any incidents this time. Almost contact between Levrot and Pavlovic. Hard charging into the second turn. Clean up front and a little bit of sideways action here. And Dolzell working his way back up through. And everyone is clean through on the first set of turns this time. So they all got that out of their system the first start, we hope. And a crash in the back. I see some yellow flag. Yep, car upside down. Car upside down. That is Jordan! Car is upside down. That will be safety car. Jack Ward is also involved in this. Safety car is out. Jordan is upside down for Renesis in the third turn. So, big crash here on the start.
I don't know what happened there, but it looked like Novak was turned around by one of the Renesis cars across the sideways, and then a few other cars got involved. And these cars, like I said at the previous round, when they get sort of skidding sideways like that, then they can flip easily, especially in the gravel.
This guard has gone into the gravel.
Osgard.
They're not racing. Yeah, they're not racing back to the line, but he went into the gravel and was let back onto the track by his teammate Anderson. They didn't have to do that. If someone goes off track, you're allowed to pass them under safety car conditions, but Anderson, his teammate, was generous and let him back through.
I think if it was anyone else, the person behind me would just put the foot down and kept going, because he was under no obligation to let him back through.
Yeah, that was a bit of a Hamilton-Trulli moment from earlier in the year in the Formula 1, the thing we never hear the end of, but yeah, it worked out well for Osgard then. He lost a couple of places, but yeah, Anderson managed to let him go.
There was a bit of an incident in the back at what would be turn 3, the second left-hander, one of the slowest corners. I think it was, or even at turn 2, there was Dolizal and Kursk and another core car who sort of bumped a bit, but they all managed to get through the first couple of corners, and it all broke loose at turn 4 near the back.
So a little bit of Constantine effect I'm noticing is going through here. So they're having the upside down car spectate. So an unfortunate finish for him. So he'll be starting last in the next race. Safety car will be in this.
Yeah, that's good news. Quick safety car to clear that, clear the car that was upside down. We're heading towards the start-finish line in a moment.
Yep. So just another minute or so under these conditions. So Picard will be leading from Scott and Oliveira and Baton. So Picard should hopefully will be able to get a good restart here and be able to keep his lead, or Nolan. Hopefully Nolan might be able to time it. Will Oliveira be able to time a restart to to be able to keep up with Picard? Picard will probably hold him down slow a little bit until somewhere on this straight, then start to pick it up at when he so desires. He does control the case, or pace, I should say. Case. Where did I get these words from?
It's okay, Deco. It's okay. Right, we're ready for the restart now. Just heading up.
So here we go. Picard holding him slow right now.
Yep, just don't brake and you can keep going, accelerating gently.
Yep, he's going to hold steady right now. The entire field is now on the oval section. When will he go? Holding at about 110 kilometers an hour. Just waiting, and waiting, and waiting, and waiting, and waiting. Waiting some more, and more, and more. Green flag is out now. This race is back underway. So Picard and Nolan right on his back bumper, pushing him down this straight. So Nolan doing well to anticipate that. Some action back here with Oliveira, Baton, Fowry, and Osgard. Baton forcing Osgard down onto the entry apron, and Osgard needs to pull back up soon, and Baton lets him up there. So we got 3 wide hit into the infield again. Everyone will see if there's car sideways. I saw Pavlik, I think that was sideways. Someone's off and hit the tires. I see been put off, and 2 cars are off. There's Oliveira and Baton into the grass as they come through. A few more cars in the grass. Ferreira causing a yellow flag. Ferreira having an incident here. And for the lead, Nolan is still trying to push Picard away before trying to get a run around him. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
Rick de Jong just went flying off the road after contact. Sorry, yep.
Yep, I think it was. Looked like it was 3 cars into 1. Didn't go there.
Nolan on the inside of Picard. Nolan is giving Picard a little tap, and he is around another drag race down the stretch here. Drag race down the run here to the last quarters in the infield. They're side by side. Picard will have the inside air, and he does what he did last race, almost, but doesn't go in the gravel, right in front of Nolan, having to make Nolan brake unless he hit him. A little bit of touch there. So Nolan will have the slipstream on this stretch here, and crashing in the back. I could tell, a couple cars in it.
That was Jack Atkinson turning Arnie Anderson around, going down into turn 9 there. The left-hander, first of the left-handers.
We still have a really close battle for the lead though. Nolan Scott is pushing Picard down the straight. Nolan Scott knows he doesn't actually have the outright pace here because of his ballast, so he needs to use that draft that Picard is giving him to get him as far away from the guys behind as possible, and then possibly try and make a move. Yeah, I think that's canny driving from Scott. Bump drafting is a tough technique, especially when you have lag involved, but he's gonna make a move. No, he's just following in the air of Picard, trying to get away from the guys behind them.
We're also going to try and force Picard into a mistake.
Yep, further back, Baton is being hassled by 3 core cars, and I'm sure they'll gang up on him somewhere or another, especially in the straight if they all work together.
Trying on the outside.
Yep, there Oscar goes, trying to get around the outside. Baton squeezes him out. Good driving there from both of them. Good touring cars. Baton still not quite got away from Oscar. Oscar's going to have the inside for this next corner, and he's got it, but he's going to have to go around the outside the next long hairpin. He won't be able to do it, so we'll cut back. No! Behind him, Enerson trying to get through. Oscar now has to attack and defend, but hopefully he'll trust his teammate not to smash into him. Enerson had a fun race in the previous race, and he's really up there now in 7th position, with Østgaard and Baton ahead. the safety car has timed out. Hopefully he will be able to get back in case there's other incidents going on. As we look at Diaz just having a battle down here in 15th position behind Vukovic. Just continuing his way, going to get in the draft down the straight. And hello to Ben Kyo. He is now pushing Anderson along up to the rear of Østgaard. It's going to be a three-way bump draft in order to get up to the rear of Baton, it looks like. So let's look from the rear of Baton and watch those cars get closer and closer with that three-way bump draft, looking pretty quick.
Well over 150
miles an hour.
Yeah, insane. And he's just going to be gobbled up.
There's some... Oh, Baton's squeezing on the inside a little. And that sort of thing is something you'll see in, like, say, Bragmaster Oval server. But what? Østgaard shortcutting there. That is a wet and Baton, and Baton is sideways. Baton sideways is going to come in front of anyone. Hold that brake, son. There he did. So Baton is going to lose lots and lots of positions. He'll be last after this. He'll be almost last of all the cars running here. But Østgaard going through the gravel, that was a pretty big shortcut, I'd say.
Yeah, it was unavoidable though. He couldn't really help it. He was on the outside and then got pushed a bit wide.
He seems to have lost time though, as he's now been passed by Pavlovic. Oh yes, still on a bit of contact.
Almost there again. That's a... Woohoo.
Yeah,
as
that
Marquez,
was
well, he's made his way. Marquez has made his way back up the field, and he's going for 6th. In fact, he's going to go for 5th. As Ben Kyo gives a bit of contact to Pavlovic. Ben Kyo also made contact with Baton and kinda looked a bit dodgy, continued pushing them round turn 3, which caused Baton to go to the rear of the field, in fact. So a kind of interesting manoeuvre there by Kyo twice.
Yeah, you were right. You were right when you said that Baton was going to get eaten up. You really didn't. Now Østgaard is trying to get eaten now by by Pavlovic. Also in there is Marquez, who was up at the front earlier. Marquez is in the slipstream with Østgaard in the middle and Pavlovic on the left. Contact between the two of them. Now Marquez has got some more speed. Østgaard hits Pavlovic again. Pavlovic is ahead. He's the one on the low side with Østgaard, the blue car, behind him. Østgaard is still there now. And Østgaard's now going on the inside.
Leaving each other enough room on these open sections. They need to not squeeze each other so much on these tight sections. That's what leads to some of these big crashes you've seen.
Yeah, they are being pretty aggressive, but luckily for them, nothing really bad has happened apart from Baton, obviously. But in the last couple of laps, nothing too bad has happened. So Østgaard just managed to keep, whereas behind Ben Kyo just being challenged by Fowry there. Here's Fowry just being passed also by Laprovok coming around the outside.
Fowry perhaps wanting to get back at Kyo for taking or making contact with Baton anyway. His Renaissance
Zadro's
teammate,
disconnected.
Yeah,
which is a shame. Said it would be his last few LFS races. Hopefully he can be back for the 3rd one.
Yep, Zadro announcing his retirement from LFS.
Dolezal trying to come on the inside. Ooh, bit of touching there. They're also behind Diaz. But one thing, these guys need to leave more room. There's plenty of room to leave room here on the oval section. You gotta leave room. If you crash on this fast part, your car will be screwed.
I think it's a different mentality compared to some of the leagues. It's obviously once you get into the tune car mentality, you try and scrape a bit of paint off the other cars when you go past. Looks like Diaz has been shuffled back as Dolezal goes up past Goncalves. Yep, Dolezal, Diaz coming up from the back of the grid, and that looks like Fowry just ahead, so they've managed to catch up. And it's quite a big train with Anderson at the head of this train in 4th.
whoa, whoa!
Dolezal has
Contact with
contact.
Goncalves.
Yep, Goncalves falls away a little bit with Laprovot now coming up the inside. The newly signed experienced driver. Here he goes up the inside. Just about does it. Goncalves going to try it, but he cannot get round the outside. He will fall into 13th place. Laprovot up to 12th. Here's Pavlovic and Marquez having a battle here. They are slipstreaming on the straight. Pavlovic got past, then Marquez has got back past again. Pavlovic is going low. Just not giving enough room there, Marquez. Just trying to get as close as possible. A bit of the oval racing mentality is there as well. Trying to tuck back in as soon as possible. Pavlovic go to the inside. Good decision. But Marquez is trying the outside line of that red Karma car. Pavlovic just ahead, a little bit of contact into the infield section.
Yep, Marquez in 7th and Pavlovic in 6th. Pavlovic is the orange and black AMT car from Serbia. Marquez from Portugal in the Karma racing car, the red one. As they go side by side into turn 9.
Yep, Marquez staying behind now in that red car, just getting a bit sideways on the gravel. Pavlovic is keeping that 6th position though.
Marquez will have a nice slipstream now. You should try and give a little bit of a nerf to Pavlovic and then come on the inside. Outside's the long way around. You don't really want to do that. It pretty much, here at least, it kind of undoes your advantage with the slipstream for a bit. But now they do have a side. Of course, they're going to prove me wrong, of course. But no, well, maybe not. But yeah, Marquez comes around the outside. He has it by about half a car. Ahead just a little bit, almost contact there. And Pavlovic now coming back on the inside, that shorter way around the turn. Be a braking duel here. Marquez goes a little longer, he slides a little wide, so Pavlovic's still holding his 6th position right now.
They don't want to slow each other too much up because Dolezal behind them has just set the fastest lap of a 43.9. Still a couple of tenths slower than the previous race's fastest lap. But with 4 laps to go, I'm sure Picard will be wanting that point for a fastest lap.
Yep, Dolezal set that fastest lap during a draft with Ben Kyo, which was just completed. Dolezal got past.
Speaking of Ben Kyo, I was just watching through the field. Kyo and Fowry having a bit of contact here in the battle for 9th, 10th, 11th. They're right behind this battle with Marquez and Pavlovic. As Diaz is trying to get around to Fowry here in the back part of this battle. He's going to try and go around the outside. But doesn't make that work.
Dolezal has just gained a 2nd on Marquez and Pavlovic over this lap. So he's definitely going to try and get past.
It's on the inside of Marquez now. And Dolezal gets through. But Marquez should have the chance to slipstream back, and he does. Smart move would have been for Marquez to bump with Dolezal to catch back up to Pavlovic and use that to use Dolezal as a pick to get around Pavlovic.
So Dolezal is going to take the inside line as Marquez just ahead, brakes a bit late, gets stuck in the air of Pavlovic and nearly falls off the track. Marquez just gets away with it. There we go, that's Dolezal into 7th position, or is it? Or is it? No, it's not. Marquez now going back past once again. Good battle between these two guys. Marquez and Dolezal. This is the battle for 7th. Bang up the rear. Dolezal a little bit too late on the brakes there. Marquez a little bit early on the brakes, it seems. Bit of contact, but they all keep going.
So Dolezal gonna try around Marquez here. Gonna try the outside. Will that stick? Does it? No. Or can he? Almost. Yeah, I think so. But Marquez will have slipstream advantage, of course, here on the oval section. Doesn't exit onto the oval so well, but he is still close enough to get that slipstream. So to catch up, get great bit of run there. Dolezal holding the inside, so Marquez is going to try and go on the outside, but hits that wall of air and just stops you pretty much dead in the track.
Side by side now, Marquez on the outside, Dolezal on the inside. We've seen this many times before now today. A few places ahead, just as a note, we can see Østgaard and Anderson having a bump drafting session. Those two core racing drivers trying to catch up to the rear of Oliveira in third position, but we'll have a look at that in a moment. As Dolezal is still on the inside now of Marquez into turn 2. Dolezal gets it, just blocks off the path of Marquez. Now Dolezal really is into 7th place.
Jack Ward having a spin coming in to the infield from the oval. So he's back in last. 24th position, 24 cars currently running. Picard still leads from Scott. Scott has fallen back several car lengths from Picard. Oliveira is behind Nolan by an even further amount. Next closest would be Anderson and Østgaard. Østgaard has a little bit of a slipstream here as they head down the long stretch here in the right before the exit back onto the oval. So we might have this battle for 4th here developing if Østgaard can get a good run.
And there's Novak, bang! He was trying to pass Vukovic and failed and ended up going onto the grass and smashing into one of the polystyrene marker boards that goes bouncing into the air. He is off and he's right at the back. That was interesting. He was trying to go for a gap that wasn't there and ended up crashing hard, but he's now 23rd, so there's no way he will even get into the possible reverse grid. Picard sets the fastest lap without a draft. That's pretty darn good. In that car without ballast, of course. That was a 44.16.
Keogh is bumping Diaz to help get Diaz around Fowry. And Diaz does get around Fowry, and Keogh should be able to suck around. No, he won't. He got stuck behind because entering the oval here, but Fowry slides it a bit. Will we have contact here between these two? Almost a bit. They managed to stay off each other. So Diaz is ahead of Fowry. He's behind. He'll be trying to get around Marquez.
Yeah, Bianchio no stranger to a bit of contact in this series, but he managed to avoid it. And ahead of them, Dolezal is once again side by side with Pavlovic. Dolezal actually having to cut onto the rumble strippery thingies that damage your suspension as Pavlovic just gets a little twitch going through the left-hander. Now, coming through this turn, the wrong right-hander of Dolezal trying to make the outside line. It cannot work, can it? No, of course it can't. Now he's going to get into the slipstream for the final couple of corners, the complex part of the circuit, the double apex hairpin and then the chicane, as he is now on the outside. Pavlovic on the inside, the red car is Dolezal just going around the outside. He's done it, or has he not? No, he had to possibly put on the handbrake there to get around the outside.
There.
Yeah, Pavlovic, fair bit of touring car driving there, just gave him a little bump to let him know, no, you can't get past me this time, mate, try again. And this has let Dolezal fall into the clutches of Marquez, who is being pushed along by Diaz. Diaz is going to try and make 2-in-1 passes here. It's going to be 2 for the price of 1 for Diaz if he can do it properly. Let's find out. Well, here comes Marquez being pushed by Diaz. Dolezal loses both positions. Look at that. Dolezal has to tuck in behind Diaz now. He's done so, but he's done it a bit late.
Look at him push up and catch up to Pavlovic too. And here comes Diaz on the... Whoa, he was almost there on the inside, but Pavlovic came down. And Diaz got checked up. Dolezal almost bumping Marquez, but Dolezal is going to try to go on the inside of Marquez, and they touch, and Dolezal is off. Dolezal's up and hits. Who's that? That was Keogh.
Fowry and Keogh.
Keogh and Dolezal sideways. Wilkinson going through on the gravel. So, but Wilkinson gets off into the grass, exiting there. So Dolezal gets back around Wilkinson.
Wowee, yes, wow. Yeah, there's Laprovok just getting past Wilkinson there, who went across his trip in the gravel. Laprovok in the blue car there, he is now 11th. Dozel dropped to 10th. He lost out a lot there. He was the one who made contact with Pavlovic, who got away with it, amazingly enough. It was incredible. But up ahead, Pavlovic is still going. The battle is still raging on. Right behind him is Marquez and Phil Diaz. Phil Diaz pushing Marquez down the straight.
Seems to have joined at the correct moment to watch this great bit of action here. Final lap though, so not got much time.
Yeah, final lap. So we're going to have Pickard go through to the win. We'll just put the camera on him for a sec, but we'll switch back.
Previous lap when he came across the line he had his left indicator on for some strange reason.
Yeah, Pickard comes through to win, but then we have Ernestson and Østgaard coming through for 4th. Who's going to get that? Just going to be Ernestson there.
It's a short run to the line.
And then Pavlovic, yeah, Pavlovic has got the... Pavlovic gets 6th, Marquez 7th, Diaz 8th, Fowry 9th, and 10th is Dolsal. What a race that was. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, just the end there when Dolsal, when they were almost 4 wide going into turn 1, or turn 2, he just ran a little bit wide, hit Marquez. That got Marquez sideways, got him sideways. He hit Pavlovic, got him sideways, and then Dolsal just couldn't hold it. I think he made contact with a couple of other cars behind.
So I've just been informed of the reversal number here. So top 9 will be reversed. So Fowry will be on pole for this next race. So
that's the second time.
Yeah.
Yep, second
Yeah,
time.
that happened last round, didn't it?
And let's see if we can do what I did last time and run away from the field. I think it'll be a bit more difficult this time, especially if others gang up on him.
So the starting order at the top will be Fowry, Diaz, Marquez, Pavlovic, Østgaard, Anderson, Oliveira, Nolan Scott, and Pickard will be starting 9th. So that's about where he ended up after his bad start in race 1. So he'll have to try and work his way back up through there. So then after that it'll be Dolsal, Laproport, Wilkinson, Goncalves, Ferreira, Jukovic, Arneson, Atkinson, Kursk, Baton, Keogh, De Jong number 2. So Rick De Jong and then Leonard De Jong. That kind of gets confusing, doesn't it, guys? And then Novak 23rd. Then the few cars who disconnected will be sorted in. I don't remember their order, so I won't try and guess it. So we'll take a break here for a few minutes. Let the admins start to get everything sorted out. We'll final comments from Willie or Pat. Oh, we'll let the grid, the winning, the top 3 get sorted out so we can see that first, of course.
Yep, Nolan, Scott and Jonathan Pickard, same order as they were last time. First for Pickard, second for Scott, and Oliveira for Karma Racing has managed to get up to 3rd. He only joined at the last round, and he's done pretty well now that he has no ballast.
So your top 3, they'll be starting back at mid-pack, so it'll be interesting to see them try and work their way through the field. So we'll take a break and be back after a few minutes with more from Kyoto National Reversed after this. So we will see you in a few minutes for the third 13-lap race. We're clear.